She won't be available to chat until tomorrow because she follows the rules of a citizen in distress. So there's like a 1 night cooldown where she's going to make her way back to her normal location. So that is good news because I hear people. Yes. All right, cool. So this looks like it was just a way to skip up into another chunk of the West End, like what we were anticipating. And now we have new people to chat with. Ooh, and that means new people to steal from. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just inspecting your curios and cabinets. Julie's here. Hi, Julie.
It's locked, all right.
You're just in time for us to meet some new
Reid.
friends.
I am glad to see you again.
Oh, because we grew up over here on the West End. I was like, how does she know us?
Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reid. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reid? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes. I did not hurt myself recently. I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
First things first.
Do you need my medical attention?
No, I'm all right, Mr. Reid. Well, I think I am.
I think she's like trying to tell us like, oh, no, but it keeps looking like she's waving.
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes. A very strange
I waved
man.
to him once.
Not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
Ugh, what a jerk. He's so pompous.
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy, but I'm a grown-up now.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
Why is work not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
Carol's mother has always taken good care of her when she was injured. Carolyn has always taken good care of her daughter whenever she was injured.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithercote used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No. Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
Interesting. So that ties us back to Richard Nethercott, the guy in the church graveyard, but even her name dropping him didn't yield like a hint or anything. I guess it's just supposed to illustrate that he does frequent this area.
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Do you ever think about getting married now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
I feel genuinely sympathetic for Carol. You know, a lot of the characters in this game, like the depressing stories they
Goodbye,
have
Carol.
just kind of like wash over you. But
I am
she
sorry,
had kind of
I
a
can't
delicate
help you,
nature about her
Perhaps you should talk to someone else
explaining
there
what
a
was
little
going
longer
on.
this time.
That makes her genuinely sympathetic. And also, like, I guess kind of a product of the time frame, right? Because like all of that is such nonsense for her to be feeling that way, but I mean, not to invalidate her stance on it, but as a sign of the times, like, oh, I'm clumsy, so no one would ever like me. I can't sit for the register. I kind of feel too, I don't know if maybe I'm just kind of putting a little too much emphasis on, oh, what? Where, you guys are leaving? You guys leaving me here? You're just gonna moonwalk? Can I go back here? No. I feel like her dialogue really kind of would have served a better purpose earlier in the game.
Aren't you the sweetest daughter ever? Carol, give your mummy a kiss.
What?
Be careful, Carol. You're wasting good food here.
Yes, Mother.
Am I winning?
I said be careful, child.
Oh God! Whoa!
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Mummy has been so clumsy again.
No, that's okay. It won't bleed for long.
Yeah, she takes great care of her.
Are you feeling sick? Do you need to see a doctor?
No, I'm fine.
Oh
I already saw the
no!
doctor last week.
Don't be silly. You must see a doctor. Just don't tell him how clumsy your mummy is, all right? I love you so much, my baby.
I love you too, Mother.
Oh no! She's like intentionally causing harm and overplaying some of Carol's issues because she wants her to be sick. Carol is often hurt by her clumsy mother. Clumsy in an anime means cute afterlife? Yeah, well, not that kind of clumsy. That's not anything that I think is cute. Munchausen's by proxy. Is that what it's called, Misha? That sounds right. This is like
I hope you can stay a little
2/3 of Law and Order episodes that involve a child that's getting injured. So wait, let's see if she has anything to say about. We just watched your mom
Good
cut
evening,
you.
young lady.
My mother always prefers when people simply call me Carol.
Is it true you often hurt yourself, Carol?
Yes, it's true. I try to behave, I really do. But one way or another, I always end up injured or wounded. I'm so stupid.
Why would you be stupid?
It's like I can't help getting under my mother's feet. That's how I end up being pushed, cut, or burned. You see, I'm a stupid girl, really.
When
Oh
exactly do
no!
these accidents happen?
Ever since I was little. That's why I need to stay with Mum. I'm not capable of taking care of myself.
No, you don't need to stay with Mom. That's why you don't need to stay. All
Goodbye.
right, so listen,
Dr. Reid.
Clay Cox, the murderer in the docks. I know we've got some people that have been at the very tip top of the if we start eating people, they go first list. They all just got dumped down a peg. If we start eating anyone, she's getting eaten first.
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reid, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
I am very excited to potentially murder
Do you
you.
need my medical attention, Miss Price?
Oh no, I'm fine, Dr. Reid. Perfectly fine. But thank you so much for taking care of me.
Do you know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
Oh, all right, sweet. So we got a hint. His brother died in a plane crash. Look at this Ebenezer Scrooge looking son of a bitch. My goodness. I want to press her about Carol, but let's chat and get the other stuff
What
first.
can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war and the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reid, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser, more serious. It suits you well.
This lady's a creep.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown
No one.
daughter and a little business?
Your daughter's a gem.
As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Ugh. Carolyn admits she has a thing for her former physician, Dr. Jonathan Reid. Not gonna happen.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reid.
Carol's gratitude is exemplary. She seems determined never to leave you.
I'm taking care of my daughter as well as I can. It's not always easy, but she's the best gift life gave me.
But
Oh,
she'll
I'll
probably
murder
leave
you.
you someday to live her own life. Will that be difficult for you?
Why would she leave? Children sometimes stay with their parents until the end, for they know no one else will love them as much.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now, but she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe
Oh,
I
I
was
think
a
she
bad mother
does.
to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price, especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reid. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Tell me, Carolyn, do you often wound or hurt your daughter by mistake?
No. I always thought it was Carol's clumsiness that caused these incidents. Maybe it's a family trait, Doctor.
You really believe it's just bad luck and being clumsy then?
Of course, Doctor. What else could it be? I have nothing to hide.
You are responsible for your daughter's many injuries and scars, Carolyn. You brutalize her, don't you?
How could I abuse my own flesh and blood? This is nonsense. It would be like hurting myself.
You really believe you've done nothing wrong, don't you? How long has this been going on for? I should have seen it when you were my patients.
Seen what? Child abuse? Are you mad, Dr. Reid? I dedicated my whole life to my precious Carol. She is a part of me.
Yes. Even her name is just a part of yours. This is a terrible tragedy. Something of an unknown disorder. My God. Abuse that comes from overwhelming love.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. How dare you say something like that? What kind of a monster do you think I am?
The worst one in this whole game so far. Some unknown mental disorder. Which, sorry, Dr. Reid. Misha already diagnosed it in the chat. You're a little slow there, bud.
Speak to me, Carolyn. Why do you behave like this? How does it make you feel to hurt Carol before cajoling her?
I don't know. It makes me feel good to take care of my daughter. I need to feel useful. No one ever takes care of me. I need someone to take care of me.
Do you realize Carol is a person? Not a toy. Not a doll. The poor girl would put her hand in a flame to please you. You are both trapped in this toxic relationship.
Carol and I are perfectly happy. Leave us be. How stupid I was to believe you could be a suitable husband.
Good gravy. I'm not gonna give her the victim pass. Like, yeah, she's mentally ill, sure. I'm 100% gonna cop to that. But like, she's a threat to Carol before anything else.
You're a threat to Carol, and no child should feel unsafe in the presence of their parents.
No, Dr. Reid. You are the threat. You are threatening to separate a mother from her only daughter, from the meaning of her life.
Oof.
Do you need my medical attention, Miss Price?
Oh no, I'm fine, Dr. Reid. Perfectly fine. But thank you so much for taking care of me.
May I look at your goods, Miss Price?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reid. Take all the time you need.
Man, of all the NPC interactions, this one is the hardest to stomach, as it were.
I hope you can stay a little longer this
Good evening.
Maybe
young
we can
lady.
convince
My mother always
Carol to
simply
go.
call me Carol.
Oh, good, we can't actually broach it. All right, let's try it.
You need to understand you are in danger, Carol. Your mother is responsible for all your injuries.
That's a lie. She has always taken good care of me. She only gets irritated when I get under her feet. It's my fault. My mum loves me so much.
Yes, Carol. Your mother believes she loves you as much as you're convinced she loves you. But you are both trapped in a toxic relationship that puts you in danger.
What are you saying? That she lied to me all these years? That she wants me to be miserable? My mother has dedicated her life to my safety.
Oof. I mean, your mother is terribly sick.
Your mother is terribly sick, Carol. She suffers from one of the most sadistic attitudes I've ever encountered, and tortures you with a twisted sense of love.
No, my mum loves me and only wants the best for me. It's my fault if I can never do anything right. She deserved a better girl than me.
Woof. Carol seems unable to remove herself from her mother's influence for now. Ooh, I hope that means that we can fix it later.
Goodbye, Carol.
Oh,
Glad to see you again.
you don't like how she doesn't have eyebrows?
Good evening,
I guess
sir.
maybe they're just really pale. No, she like straight up doesn't have eyebrows. You're right. Ugh. All right. Well, is it too late for me to say that I didn't actually want to find more NPCs to chat with? Oh, is this that quarantine door? Can we finally open this? Oh, beautiful. All right. So we still have 4. Yeah, so that's these 2 up here. This is the person we saved down in the sewer. There's still 4 people in the district that we don't know. And there's still 1 that's how we came in. There's still 1 person in another area that we haven't met yet. In Whitechapel, I think.
May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
Oh, this guy like
Do you need medical
straight
attention,
up
Inspector?
trying to
I'm fine, thank
give
you,
us
Dr.
the interrogation. Oh, I asked about his medical status and it skipped his interrogation. I wonder if we can get it
Goodbye,
again.
Detective Inspector Albright.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Ooh, this guy's like showing off that he remembers my full name. Oh, hello again, friend.
Good evening, sir. May
Oh,
I ask
sweet.
you what you're doing
We will
here at this
trigger it.
late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are And why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard, and I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
Why would I tell him about the Ascalon Club? That seems bonkers.
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous.
Oh, right,
You
because
better
he
be
gave
careful.
me, he said he gave me something that'll let me get through the checkpoints.
Do you know anything
So
in
this is
particular
like
about a
the
man called
the
Aloysius
public-facing version
doesn't know
of the
the
Ascalon
man?
Club.
I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it, with just one phone call.
Oh, man. Aloysius sucks.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
Ooh, is he talking about the guy from the docks, maybe?
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange, which requires police attention?
My sister came back from the dead and tried to kill me. Do you know Fergal Bansha? So Fergal is gone. Jeffrey McCollum is the guy from the docks. Oh no, that's Seymour Fishburne. Which one's Jeffrey McCollum? There's just too many murderers now. I don't see... I don't see a Jeffrey McCollum. I know we heard the name, though. I wonder if it's in our notes. Let's see if he does know Fergal.
Does the name Fergal ring a bell? Fergal Bansha.
Of course it does. Fergal Bansha, the Butcher of Galway. Hung in Dublin in 1857 for murdering more than 20 men with his bare hands. Why are you so interested in dead criminals, sir?
Tell me all you know about that homicidal
Every
maniac
time we turn around, there are more murderers.
I'm
You're
not even
right.
sure there is only one.
There's like one in every
The
district.
wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few nights ago. Louise Teasdale.
Oh, we already saved her.
It seems you already found my other missing person, Mr. Tadao Kimura.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No. But I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished. I thought about the sewers, but I'm not equipped for such an investigation.
We already found her. So it's a bummer that we can't just tell him, oh no, she's safe too.
I have a
Tell me,
she's a
do you
no.
I'm out here solving
Goodbye.
crimes that
Goodbye.
Scotland Yard can't touch. Y'all got nothing on me. Alright, what else we got? There's a big blood stain. Maybe you should come investigate this, sir. Sir? This isn't the Dawson mansion, right? No. I hope it's not. Alright, this is a new hideout. Butte. Okay. And then this, yeah, it kind of lets us cut through again. Oh, we might be able to go finally open this cut through into Whitechapel. Let's do that. Or at least try to right quick.
Back, demon! Back!
I would love to get a little bit more of a shortcut, because we're going to have a hard time getting all the way from the West End over to Whitechapel on the regular. It's just hard right here, yeah? Get through one more dude. Stalk him down, my fave. If I remember correctly, there's actually a way we could be sneaking, if I'm thinking back all the way to the tutorial. But I don't know that I ever bothered doing it other than to pass the tutorial. Can we unlock you? Oh, baby. Alright, awesome. So that should make traversing the city considerably less painstaking now that we don't have to worry about going from one end to the other. I think essentially all the cut-throughs are now squared up. Let's get back over into the area where it's a little bit more populous. Oh, what are you doing up there, bud? Hi. Up on like a balcony? Man, I gotta try not locked on combat more often, apparently. What is the point of this being up here? Is it just for that one box? Yeah, because this is gonna spit out... Weird. Okay. That's fine. I mean, I guess it's like, it's a decent spot for him to be able to ambush us as we come over here, but he's not even really the concerning part of that encounter segment. Alright, so that's where the girls are. Here's our inspector. Ah, here we go.
Seems violence and madness are now contagious.
Am I losing my mind? Are you the same person? Are you twins?
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reid. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
I would appreciate some sunshine right now, but otherwise I'm fine. Thank you.
What a weirdo.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
You should ask that question to my brother instead. Personally, I've not seen Aloysius for many years.
May I ask what you're doing outside at this hour of night?
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead. It was his idea in the first place.
You must have your own ideas.
From what I have managed to understand, I guess we're supposed to wait here. Waiting for someone to come.
Agamemnon and Pericles Baker are waiting for something. Oh, goodness.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
No, I'm not.
Good for you. It's a good thing to have a clear idea of where you stand concerning crucial questions. Don't you think?
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see?
Who are you waiting for, exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be, then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
Did we walk into a Neil Gaiman novel?
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you're not in your place? That sort of trap.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Okay. Not really what I was
Good
anticipating.
evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reid? Dr. Reid?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure to meet you anyway.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only wish I could remember when it was that we met.
What?
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
No, I just need something that's not this.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place in the world for a long time. I hope he found it.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night?
We are waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city as soon as possible.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking questions so much, would you allow me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
I know we are not living in the most peaceful of times, but I have learned to appreciate London's complexity.
Yes, me too. This city tests us. It invites us to find ourselves, to discover our true nature scattered throughout its dark streets.
But what if we don't like what we find?
Do we ever know who we are? I wonder sometimes. Or maybe it is the journey to find out who we are that changes us.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something this city can't provide.
But what were you doing before you took this decision?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life. And now I think it's over.
Tell me more about why you want to leave London, then.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know we need to find another life out of the city.
Agamemnon and Pericles Baker have opposing explanations about their current situation.
Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He has always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being, true kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
Who are you waiting for? I'm sure he has a name.
I really can't answer that question, since I don't know that person.
And why is that?
This person is mostly my brother's acquaintance. I don't even know his real name. Only that this man could help us leave this city once and for all.
But why would you need this person's help to leave London anyway?
Well, I thought we should have left this cursed place already, but my brother convinced me to stay a while longer, and here we are.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Okay. They know they're in a game. Yeah, they're definitely the
Hello
most
again, Dr. Reid.
kind of like blatantly gamey NPCs we've had.
Goodbye
Weird.
for now, Mr. Baker.
All right, so maybe someone else is going to hit us with a clue. Like maybe we'll find their house or something. One left. Those guys are so bizarre. To be this late in the game and have something like them thrown at me is a little bit curveball-y. Which may be by design, right? Like, I won't discount that. Hey, give me that. What do you got? Official health warning. Curfew, curfew. I think we are straying out of the area where there's people. What is this? We're going into the church? What? Did we just hit pressure plate? Is that a person? What in tarnation? Yo, the West End getting weird, y'all. Who is this? The crime of lost knowledge. Vampires are dangerous, deadly, vicious sometimes. This is a fact, and I won't deny it. And that's precisely why we must understand what they are, sometimes who they are, in order to achieve a better mutual understanding. Do you remember the interview with Titus Flavius Josephus, conducted by one of us in 1548, when he finally encountered the creature in Spain? Do you remember how each of the very carefully chosen words expressed by this vampire warmed our heart each time we read them? For they were all extraordinary windows to a past of which we only had glimpses. Well, Titus Flavius Josephus is no more, since the Vatican's hunters destroyed him a few weeks ago, and with him vanishes unearthed treasures of knowledge about the pillars of our civilization. This is a crime probably as heartbreaking as the killing of an innocent life by a vampire. This is exactly why the path of the Guard of Prywin is as criminal as it is barren, for each time they successfully conduct one of their methodical hunts on the old vampires of England, instead of carefully and respectfully approaching them, they destroy a part of our common roots with the immortals. They wipe an opportunity. The concept of great hunt is a crime, for it blindly kills words and thoughts. From Drinking at the Fountain of Knowledge by Usher Talltree, Primate of St. Paul. Before I talk to you, let's see if I can steal from you.
It's locked, all right.
The whispers of a son. Jonathan Reid. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree,
You are the leader of the Brotherhood.
Oh.
primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they can tell me everything. They told me that you have not taken another life since your poor sister died.
Whoa, dog, how you know that? These people are terrible at keeping secrets. The vampire notes are everywhere. You're absolutely right. Although it's kind of sounds like these guys don't really want to keep it secret. The Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole seems to kind of be down with like vampires as a source of knowledge. Usher seems to know that many Londoners have recently been murdered.
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
Aloysius was a member of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn until 1900. All right, so we have both of his clues, so we can definitely go and chat with him, because if there is any kind of potentiality for a choice, hopefully that gives us the opportunity to get
Do you
an
require
option.
medical attention?
I'm fine, thank you, Jonathan.
What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller then.
Oh, I can tell you many things, but they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Whoa, dude. Usher is aware of the real circumstances of Mary's death.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune, then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here, besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The Guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
Ooh.
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
What? Get out of here with that nonsense. That's a lot of money. I want his last hint, though. It is indeed the same guy from Indiana Jones.
Here is
He
the
was
money.
he was the primate of St. Paul's Stole the
A
whole
man
time.
who just eats life as a cake. A righteous ego, surprised to fall in love.
Calhoun was the lover of the famous actress Doris Fletcher for a time. Oh, so when he reads the cards, does he just unveil a hint? How much money do we have?
Goodbye, sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander, yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. The fool and the emperor.
Where's that cash? 730. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not ready to just cash in all of our money. But that might be useful for farming up some... I really want to know what's up with these. Alright. We are armed now with the clues for Aloysius. So why don't we go and say hello to him and get that moving. We also, there's a couple investigations on this side of town. Calhoun's is done, right? Like Calhoun's, we found a cool restaurant, so all we gotta do is go tell him about it. Clarence's is done. We found, oh no, we need 6. We're missing Fertile is the belly of the beast. But his is almost done. Charlotte's missing her friend Emily. We got to figure that out. We have our father's riddle, and then now Usher has tasked us with finding the missing journal from his house that was stolen. I think he said the Priwen guard stole it, which would line up. All right, so there's the brothers. Where's Aloysius's house? Back behind the church? Maybe? That doesn't seem right, because now we're going downstairs again. Unless it's this area off to the left up here. Nope. All of this was just for a trash can. You would have assumed Aloysius's house would actually be pretty easy to find. It's so funny after how reluctant I was to go forward and do anything, because I was like terrified that we were gonna trip something before I was ready for it story-wise. This was a church, right? Or is this supposed to be his mansion? I guess I just saw the shape of the windows and assumed it was a church. Yeah, my dude Aloysius, where's your house? Also, why is it not tracking his house for me anymore? God, Swansea's got new dialogue every 6 minutes. This was where there were enemies. Can we track? Oh, we're in chapter 5 and I barely recognized it. I guess that makes sense though, because Doris was like the end of chapter 4. Where? It would explain when the Pope tries to beat us. I hope we don't wind up leaving London and going to Vatican City. I don't know. I don't know that Jonathan's got the strength for it. Alright, maybe this is gonna get us there. Is this the house? Oh, yeah. Okay. No, that solves it. That makes it nice and easy. They did say he's a collector of old books. Look at my man's manse. Look at this. All right. Let's go chat with Aloysius. So remember, Redgrave wants us to turn him into a vampire, but Elizabeth said that she thinks it's a terrible idea, and our dealings with the man thus far have been basically him just saying, I have some great plans that involve telling the poor
mansion.
to go to hell.
Here I am at last. But the question remains, am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?
Elizabeth was pretty adamant that turning him would be a terrible idea. But Redgrave has made it clear that that is the will of the Ascalon Club. My man's got a fountain in his foyer. Get out of here with this. And you want to build a wall? Coat of arms and shit. Yeah, so these glass pitchers have the same weird light refraction that the other ones do. So it's got to just be something about that, like, material shader. That's a little disappointing considering how well crafted I've really felt like most of the other stuff is. Oh shit, he's right here.
Finally you're here, Dr. Reid. What took you so long?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes, yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
But I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very
Jonathan
well.
just starts blaring Don't Fear the Reaper.
But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reid. Planned very carefully.
Sir, I'm going to end your life. Do you not wish to discuss the procedure for even a minute?
I don't have a minute to indulge in idle chatter. I can't feel my legs, and the cold, so cold.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege, or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reid, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
This guy's such a scumbag.
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reid, and I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London, I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
I don't like this guy.
Who gave you the right to decide the fate of thousands of people?
My money. My money and my pending immortality gives me the needed authority, Doctor. I'm a businessman. I'm used to tough decisions.
You really plan to build a quarantine wall across London?
Yes, it will be tall and strong, separating the wheat from the chaff.
Oh my god.
By doing so, you will also create 2 separate prisons.
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like yourself knows that such radical measures have proved efficient in the past.
Let me guess. You mean to isolate the rich from the poor?
This is a desperate measure for desperate times. England must prevail, Doctor, no matter the cost.
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
Oof.
But you can't guarantee infection will not spread. Just one contagious carrier would be enough to create an apocalypse.
The apocalypse is already knocking at the gate. We must be strong now.
What if a new outbreak happens inside your walls? You'll have created a giant trap.
That won't happen. As long as we dispose of anyone that is contaminated as soon as they are spotted.
Give him a little suck. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe something. Sometimes things go bad
It's time to proceed.
when you try and turn your first
At last.
mortal.
All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
Okay, so turning him is... Oh. Forget your fear of dying. So it looked like it paid off to go and learn his clues. We can embrace him, which will give us... We've unlocked all of his clues, so it will give us his blood. We do have enough experience to turn him. But, like, is this really a guy that I want to have running around as an immortal? So, like... He's rich. He's got assets. He's definitely a boon for the Ascalon Club. But like, he's an asshole. Like he's just not a good dude. Like he's already openly talking about how he'll do whatever he wants. He'll do the, you know, whatever it takes to save his kind and, you know, separate the wheat from the chaff, as he said. He's not scared of the Guard of Priwen. One of the ones that really bothers me is when we were like, hey, you know, you're going to have to eat mortals, right? And he was like, oh, no, I'm rich. I'm not going to have to worry about it. Like, you're still going to eat mortals. It's just that you're not going to be skulking around in alleyways to kill them yourself. What's chat got to say about it? Don't like him. What could go wrong? Charm was the unlock, so we won't vamp him. I bet he would not even eat clay. Yeah, you're right, Afterlife. I bet you he wouldn't eat clay. Don't like. I don't know. So, like, if we embrace him, he'll die. I think that's... So again, just going by what I know of the game from secondhand knowledge, I know there's something different than happens if you go the whole game without eating anyone. Turning him is not killing him, so I don't think that affects our potentiality for that extra ending. But we spend 2,000... And don't forget, Elizabeth didn't want us to turn him. No eat, no turn. Yeah, so Charm maybe seems... I mean, especially considering Charm's the unlock option, right? I feel like kind of that's the special choice here. I'm thinking we go with Charm. Forget your fear of dying. I don't understand exactly what that's doing, though. Save our kisses for Elizabeth. You're right. I think we're gonna charm him because you know what? Look, he's a scumbag. I know we're kind of creating this hit list of people that we would kill to kind of like play the London vengeful angel. But I don't really want this guy to be the first mortal we drain. I as much as it would hurt him to know this, I think we're better than that. I think we're going to charm him here.
Listen to me, Aloysius Dawson. You will forget your fear of dying, for it has poisoned your mind and made you bitter and ruthless since the death of your twin brother.
You don't understand. Death is oblivion, the eternal void. I know there's nothing there. I saw it in Robert's empty eyes. I saw myself in that coffin.
Death is painful for those who remain, not for those who have passed. All that occult gibberish you filled your head with has made you forget this simple truth.
No! Death will not claim me. I have the power and the money. I've acquired the arcane knowledge needed. I believe there is magic, there are dark forces. You will provide me my extension.
Your ignorance makes you a fool. You have no idea. Look at me. Hunted like a beast, my family lost, cursed. I have not escaped death, I have become it.
No, there must be a way. I don't want to go like my brother did. I have money, lots of money.
Money won't ease your mind. I know you used to be a good and generous man, so I offer you the gift of peace, Aloysius. The tranquility of a true death.
I accept your offer, and I understand. No more fear, I will die a man of dignity, and a man at peace.
Mesmerize level up. So he's seemingly, man, he looks sad. Was just staring at the fire. I wish that was a picture of him above his own mantle. I'm just trying to line him up for a screenshot. All right, well, I think
It's
oh,
locked.
that's his special save. I kind of like that that ending for him, right? Like his fate seems to now just be to give up this
It's locked,
foolhardy chase for immortality and just accept that he's an old man who's had his time. I hope I hope some others around town are okay with the choice we made. I will just repeat what chat said. When we get yelled at by anyone, it's gonna be like, look, no vamp, no suck. No vamp, no kill. I went in with a very strategic plan.
It's locked.
No vamp, no kill.
It's locked, all right.
Boss of the Ascalon Club's gonna be mad. Yeah, I don't anticipate Lord Redgrave really being pumped. Man, how big is this dude's house? But that's fine, right? Like, remember, originally we went to the Ascalon Club kind of just to scope it out, see if we could get any information about what was going on with the pandemic. And it doesn't seem like they knew much more than we did. We got a little bit of a lead from them as to how to kind of stem the tide in the West End. Newspaper article. Execution of John Francis Sparrow. John Francis Sparrow, 21, has been hung this morning in the prison of Pentonville. Mr. Sparrow was sentenced to death after being found guilty of the murder of his sister, Alexandra Sparrow. Until the end, the man claimed he was innocent. No formal proof of his presence at the crime scene was ever brought to the court, but he has been sentenced to death and executed anyway. Scotland Yard refused to reopen the case despite the many holes in the chains of events, which ended with the death of Miss Sparrow. Charles Albright, who conducted the inquiry for the Scotland Yard, refused to answer any of our questions, but 3 weeks ago, he was demoted without any official explanation. What a strange way to reward an efficient inquiry. Clayton Darby. So Clayton's the guy, the reporter from the West End, or from the Whitechapel district that we've already met.
For falsely accusing a man of murder. I wonder what Inspector Albright thinks about his punishment.
And now Albright's the dude that's skulking around here on the West End, so maybe we can go press him about that case. We're supposed to... I was literally just about to say we're supposed to report to Redgrave, but we can avoid that and do some side questing. But Redgrave is legit just right here in the mansion. What's up? Can I walk past you? No, you're gonna keep me
cannot enter.
Locked in. So hey, about my homework
Dr. Reid?
assignment.
Is Aloysius Dawson reborn as expected?
I'm afraid Mr. Dawson finally chose to embrace life and death as a mortal.
What do you mean?
He has overcome his fear of dying. I let him rest and wait for death to come.
What? This is unacceptable. Go back there and make him the powerful Ekon he's destined to be.
No, Lord Redgrave. As a doctor and as an immortal, I can't. If you wish to make him your progeny, then proceed on your own.
This is an outrage beyond words. This is betrayal, pure and simple. I should kill you on the spot. You swore on William Marshall's blood.
Well, get rid of me then.
From now on, you're an outcast. Banished.
You are forbidden to ever appear in front of us again. Ascalon will smite you on sight, and your heart will be thrown to the rats.
I'll leave you then. Have fun with your puppets and shadow plays, Lord Redgrave.
Yes, go,
Oh,
traitor,
sick burn.
and take that awful creature, that counterfeit of a woman I saw waiting for you, and be gone.
And by the sword you die. Protect Pembroke Hospital. What's going on at the Pembroke, dog?
Step away, traitor. Return to your dubious friends and your decrepit hospital. Do not dare show yourself again, you or that monstrosity you bring to my door.
Alright, so. Not great. We just got kicked out of the VIP Vampire Club. But, you know, those guys kind of sucked. I guess that would explain why... Remember when we first went to the Ascalon Club, I had kept on being like, oh, Bridget, what are you doing here? I kept on being like, oh, I bet you there'll be a ton of people to talk to inside the Ascalon Club. And there wasn't. And I guess this is why. Because if you get kicked out, like, what are you supposed to do to advance any of those storylines? What are you doing up here on the
We
surface?
meet again at the strangest of times, young Ekon. So do you serve the Earl of Bristol now?
Old Bridget. What are you doing here?
Your friend, the wise Ekon. She sent me to warn you.
Yeah, like Dags.
Did anyone see you? It's a long way from the dock sewers, and hunters are patrolling the streets here.
Who said I took the streets? How do you think I survived for centuries in this city without ever being seen? I know all her secrets.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
She came to us in the sewers in search of answers. Just as you did.
What kind of answers did you give her?
I knew nothing of your maker, but we talked. We talked a lot. Her words and ideas are captivating. It is no surprise that you like her. I like her too.
Lady Ashbury in the sewers? Now that's a sight I wish I'd seen.
She said she was your friend, and that she sought the identity of your maker. So I answered her questions.
Lady Ashbury? You know her? Tell me what's going on.
The lady approached me but a few nights ago, wanting to meet the sewer skulls. Once she questioned Harriet Jones. She agreed to help us.
Harriet Jones is still with you then? How is she doing?
Harriet remains angry, but is recovering slowly. Her mind is twisted, but at least her body is healing.
Tell me what is going on.
The lady asked us to keep an eye on your mortal doctor friend while you were away. We spotted the hunters. They were discussing plans to attack tonight.
Wait, slow down. I need to ask you something.
I'm listening, but I do not have time to waste, so be quick.
Where is Lady Ashbury right now?
She said she will go home. She needed to speak with some old friends first, though. Do not worry, young Ekon. She is no fool, and just as strong as you.
How did Elizabeth find you?
She presented herself humbly at our gate, and asked if we knew of any ancestral vampires hiding in London. She asked about Ascalon. She asked about many things.
What do you think of her?
Her soul is good, yet tainted with a deep sadness, and the scars of ancient wounds. Time does that to us immortals, for we have so much to dwell upon.
Why did she come to you?
I am old Bridget, the buried memory of the city. She sought the silent truths, truths I have kept hidden for so long.
Why do I feel like Lord Redgrave was particularly irritated to see you? Far more so than the average Skull, if I may say.
Because I used to know him quite well, and he is afraid I may remember who he really is.
You're Elizabeth's informant. You're the one who told her about Lord Redgrave's lies regarding his lineage.
Yes, but my words were not meant to hurt or threaten. I simply told the story of the sewer skulls, and of so many other forgotten children.
No time to lose, then. I must go there right away.
I shall return to my den. Have you a message for the lady? Should I see her before you?
Oh, we can straight up say we love her. It's a little strong though, I feel. Tell her we need to talk. Tell her I worry about her. I feel like that's kind of more in tune with our courtship. The tell her my wife is yelling at me to say I love her from across the room. I don't like we've started to be a little bit more open about our feelings, but the I love her is pretty abrupt. You know what though? It's not like they've offered us any other romance options for Jonathan. Let's YOLO this one. Let's you know, you only get an immortal afterlife once.
Yes. Tell her I love her.
Is this still unknown to her? Go now and take care, young Ekon, for the flames are rising.
That sounds ominous. All right. Get to Pembroke. Fastest way is probably through the unlocked gate over here. And then cut down through Whitechapel. My assumption is we'll get lost a couple times on the way. Whoa, Lord Finley. Oh, these are the a-holes that were in the Ascalon Club, just like sipping wine on the stairs and stuff. Yo! All right. So, having spent a ton of time underleveled and underpowered, the decision we made with Aloysius has turned the Ascalon Club against us, which in turn has made the streets more dangerous. So, you know, we got that going for us. There he is. All right.
You could betray Lord Reid.
Work the parries. God, the stupid shadow ninjutsu. I don't know about that one. I thought I got him. How long does his shadow clone stick around for? My goodness. All right. Gotcha. 106 shillings. All right. So, pros and cons. Pro, if we know they're there and we know we're ready for them, really not that hard. Con, definitely harder than standard mobs around the city. Pro, yo, they loaded. He got so much scratch. Prime one rookie. All right, let's not get hung up in Whitechapel. Let's get through and get over to the Pembroke. I do have an awful tendency of getting sidetracked as we traverse the city. So I want to go... This is the fastest way. So over and to the left here. And then straight through, hang a left. Hello. At some point, we got to come back over and spend some time in Whitechapel. We got a Braille page to turn in. And we got to find the last dude.
You Londoners are no match for me.
I don't think this guy's a special one, though. He doesn't have a name or anything. Whoa. He did not like me talking shit about his prowess. Bullshit. I feel like we're really not accomplishing anything. He punishes me every time we step in on him. We do have the blood draining weapon. Oh. Woof. Maybe just avoid them. I think, you know, we can try and go the long way, but it looks like they've kind of positioned them in such a way that they're on my route back to the Pembroke. I wonder if we could just book it, though, like we've done in the past sometimes with the Priwen. I'd also like to... Maybe we can duck into that hideout, because I'd like to make some serums. The parry suggestion is helpful. His parry timing is really tough, though, because he has that long, deep dive with the saber. Oh, we might be able to drag him into a fight with this group, too. Where... So I think we can get in, if we go around and left. I think we can get into our thing from over here, too. It might be time for a trip to the hideout to level as well. Because the general level of enemies in the streets has gone up. Oh god, the stupid poison cloud. Is this our hideout? Yeah, boy. Eat my rats.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Alright, so first some bullets. Let's make up yeah, we can afford the big serums here. Thick, brisk blood sample. I don't remember who that was. There's like one... Oh, antidote? How do we find the antidote? That's... We've died so many times to poison. Stamina upgrade. I think we'll just stick with the small blood potion. Opium has been so much harder to come by. So do we stop and level here? Well, that would make us sleep. So is that really a good idea when we think the Pembroke's in trouble? She said the Pembroke's in trouble tonight. So I think maybe we got to at least go take a look at the Pembroke.
Thirst for blood.
Why is there's... This courtyard is laid out so funny. Oh, I think this is the one, if we go to the far side, there's like a gate that can take us further into the district. Oh, baloney. This guy's a super skull. You see him curve in midair? Just tell Blood Daddy that the other vamps are being mean to you. But Blood Daddy, the other vamps say that I'm just a dandy doctor boy with a nice coat. What am I doing? Yeah, there's like the gate at the end here. So yeah, we could maybe use this as a cutback to avoid vamps in the road. But for now, let's just get across the bridge, yeah? This goes over and around. Yep. Alright, and then that's the Pembroke. In fact, that's our room.
What is this truck? Are the vampire hunters here already?
I wonder, let's go in through the front door. I don't want to miss stuff. Well, nothing looks out of place. Dr. Tippett's and Brannigan.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Are you all right? I heard the hospital was attacked.
For months I said this day would come. We should have armed ourselves. Riots are rising. The end is near.
Goodbye,
So they were
Milton.
already attacked and it's calmed down enough that they can just kind of hang out?
It's safer here than anywhere else in the
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Are you all right? I heard the hospital was attacked.
Poor Dr. Swansea. He was the only one to stand up to those brutes. And now they've dealt with him.
Where is Dr. Swansea?
I don't know. I hid behind a tent. I saw nothing.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Dr.
So
Strickland.
And good evening
Edgar's
to you, Dr. Reid.
screwed?
Can I be of any help?
Are you all right? I heard the hospital has been attacked.
As far as I know, nobody's been hurt. But who were those men? Why attack Dr. Swansea?
What happened to him?
We don't know. They came in, they went out. In between those two events, Dr. Swansea went missing. Maybe he just went into hiding nearby.
All right,
Goodbye,
so
Dr. Strickland.
we gotta go to Edgar's office, it sounds like. So they were attacked. Edgar was the target, and now no one knows where Edgar is, but everyone, well, I mean, I guess they don't, oh.
Those bastards. What have they done to Edgar? McCullum and his thugs are taking the credit for Edgar's abduction. They really mean business.
Uh-oh. So McCullum, like, kicked it into overdrive after we saw him at the theater. Oh, that's the McCullum I could have turned into the police officer. Letter of Rakesh Chidana. Pembroke Hospital, 4th August. Dear Dr. Swansea, I will be glad to manage the temporary morgue as soon as it's opened. As I have already told you, I was a doctor during the war and I will be glad to serve my country again. I know it's not the same being a physician for the dead as it is for the living, but I believe it is important to welcome and take good care of our departed, too. Rest assured, I will do my best to fully perform this new duty to the best of my ability. Concerning the question of my qualifications, I'm sorry I can't give you anything more valuable than my parole. I swear to you that if my regiment made me a doctor during the war, and that I saved many lives, if my word is not enough, you can contact the military administration to verify my experience and skills. They will confirm that even if I never followed any medical studies, the war taught me what a doctor really needs to know. Always sincerely, Rakesh Chidana, former doctor. I wonder if this has been here the whole way, or the whole time. Rakesh has been appointed as a medic by mistake during the war. So they want me to follow the blood trail.
Looks like he's wounded. I better follow the blood.
Oh, this is the... This door has been locked in the past. This is like the roof. Or the 3rd floor. Yeah. Like on either side, there was always this locked door. They were hiding a boss arena this whole time, weren't they? Oh, Yo, we got an elevator in this hospital? Y'all been making me take the stairs? Questionable. Oh, man. All right, this has all the smackings of a big-time fight. It's been about an hour and a half. My water is empty. I think we're going to be probably stuck up against a fight here for a little bit. So what I'm going to suggest, I'm going to go refill my water. If your water is empty, you should go do so too. And I will be back in about 2 minutes. All right. I am back. So this appears to be a roof of some kind. Or not. It's like a watchtower. This is like a proper fight sequence for a vampire story. Whoa!
Ultraviolet curtains and orichalcum powder. Dr. Swansea's always been a resourceful bastard. I bet he never told you he had this installed in case of a vampire attack. Says a lot about how much he trusts your kind.
What have you done with Edgar?
Don't worry. We don't kill humans. Even if your friend is deserving of a little punishment for what he did.
What are you talking about?
We know everything. Swansea and you created this bloody epidemic. You aim to unleash another disaster just like William Marshall did.
No, I'm trying to put an end to it. Just like you are.
You're its progeny, aren't you? Where is the monster hiding? It's still in England, isn't it?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Jeffrey, please listen to me.
No tricks. That shit won't work on me. We've found proof in the theater. Doris Fletcher was your first experiment. Now where is Marshall? Speak! So much for modern technology. Time for the tried and true.
I feel like this fight's been brewing for a long time, even though we've only talked to him
Beast?
twice.
This is a drop of King Arthur's blood. The blood of a true defender of Britain. Stronger than your evil powers.
You just slug a shot of King Arthur's blood?
This is ridiculous. We're losing precious time.
True enough. Soon I'll bring your head before your coward of a father.
I'll pin you down.
Okay, so he can summon sunlight spots. God, he does a lot of damage. Oof. Okay. Get in tight.
You're poisonous, boy.
Oof. Okay. So, dodge the sunshine spotlights, the UV spotlights, and try and stay tight, because his crossbow bolts are just going to chew me up and I don't have an answer for him. At least in tight, we can maybe throw a parry or at least kind of circle dodge. But at range, we just do not have the firepower. Will it let us go downstairs? It will. Let's give him another crack now that we kind of know what the combat is. So it looks like he fires his crossbow even when we're tight. Oh my goodness. All right. So our bedroom's downstairs. Why don't we go and level up? I don't think it'll hurt anything if we advance time. The hospital seems to be working pretty normal. I should check to see if anyone's sick before we sleep, though, maybe. Have we cured everyone we need? Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, Misha. I think the only... oh, Lady Ashbury's got a new dialogue as well. I think the only person that's sick... That's the wrong thing. Is Louise, but we can't cure her because she's not at her post yet. She won't be there till tomorrow because we just saved her. There is still the one unknown guy. He's it. After we find him, that is the end of finding people. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go downstairs and level up. Because he kills me in 2 shots. And I don't trust my combat prowess enough to beat him if he can 2-shot me, if I'm honest. I don't know what's really gonna help that much leveling up though. So like, we can get more health. We could put more heal. Maybe it's worth spending some money to carry more serums. That's something we've not leveled at all, and actually that might help, right? Just to be able to kind of brute force our way through the fight by carrying more curatives. We need more power. We do need more power. I just don't know how much of it we're going to find in the leveling tree, unfortunately. Do I have anything we need to investigate? No.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
I don't know why we can still investigate that flower. All right. So we've got 10,000 experience banked. Let's see here. 10,000 experience banked. It's 1,000 to increase our health again. We can carry more serums. I think this is worth putting 2 levels in. It's still relatively cheap. And I think that lets us carry 4 of each serum we're carrying. Man, who is spending this much on serums? Better healing. If I recall, when we level this up, it's going to give us a initial heal and then more healing over time. That's what, 2,000? 2,700. Just more straight up health, I don't think is a bad idea. Maybe a better blood barrier. 2,000 for that. Well, first things first, it's almost assuredly going to be a case of wanting more health, right? So another 3,000 goes into the health. That gives us another 100 health to kind of help stay up in the fight. Fast regeneration. See, like the bites I don't think really super help me here because we've not figured out a way to get his parry window up. More blood when we do get a parry though might be helpful because then when we do kind of get that opportunity, at least we're filling up our blood meter. We know we're going to heal a ton. I'm tempted to maybe just throw it into this. That leaves us with 4,400. So what else could we do? We could max out healing, so that would make our healing as good as it could get. Or we do have enough for another 100 health. Let me... I'd hate to blow through all of it. I don't know what else we've got coming up. I'm going to start with this. We'll see just how much of a difference this makes in our combat. Oh, Aloysius did die. He legit just passed. Death of Aloysius Dawson. A highly respected resident of the City District passed away last night. Aloysius Dawson, co-founder and head of the Dawson & Dawson Company, at 71 years of age. It was no secret that Mr. Dawson's health had recently declined. The once joyful businessman had almost totally disappeared from social events since the tragic death of his twin brother. An influential man, Aloysius Dawson was also a great art collector and a concerned philanthropist. Recently, he had campaigned for an audacious plan to save London from the Spanish flu by raising a quarantine wall to separate the districts and contain the epidemic. But only a few hours before his death, the magnate had given orders to cancel the construction of the wall. More surprisingly, large donations of money have been received by all major London hospitals, while equally important contributions have been made to the smaller clinics and dispensaries. Does it mean that Aloysius Dawson, a man known for his fortitude and conservative opinions, was finally touched by grace? Who could say? Only one thing is certain. All over the city, thanks to that man's late generosity, stocks of medical supplies have been replenished and the death toll has significantly been lowered in the last 24 hours. No doubt hundreds of grateful citizens will be at the St. Mary Churchyard to accompany the final journey of their benefactor, SLA. Hey! So he's dead. We have our first social board death. I wonder if that... Weird. So I thought that we were going to be able to spare him and just like not be able to... Was everyone sick? Whoa. What is happening? Okay. Apparently the whole city was... Oh, maybe that's what they were saying because he donated, right? They said that he donated to the local hospitals. So I guess it's just showing that diseases have cleared up, I guess. It was awfully nice for McCollum to just wait upstairs for me while I took a nap during the day. Let's head back up and see what else we can accomplish here. Oh, snap. Hold up. No sense in raising how many serums we can carry if I don't make up more serums. Did some of the donation money... Is there no door on this, by the way? It's really kind of bothered me. I guess they're relying on this hospital curtain to keep the sunlight off me while I sleep. Alright, so we can make... If we make 2 more of these, we gotta make them count. Oh, I can't even. I don't have enough. Okay. I forget that for the top end ones, it's not just the drugs you're carrying. It's also you have to have like the rare drop, as it were. That's the blood serum. Alright, so T is for blood, G is for health. give this a shot. What time is it? Almost 11. Hopefully we'll get through him here before the stream has run too awful long. If we can get through McCullum, I would consider it a successful evening. I feel like, I don't know though, I feel like we're kind of approaching some kind of a finale, so many people got feeling better. Yeah, that's what happens when an influential and powerful person shares some of their inordinate wealth to ensure that all people have access to health care. Looking at you, Aloysius. All right.
Come on, Reid. Try something else.
So we do see a decent amount of difference in just how much damage he's doing.
Close your eyes. This is gonna hurt. Freeman prevails.
Oh God, I strafed into the sunlight. Oh, I have no blood. I have no stamina. Oh man. It's so obnoxious. So I can't get tight on him when he's in the sunlight. And if I get stuck in the sunlight, I lose all my blood.
Show some style. Fight like a man. If you're so innocent, why does simple light burn you so much? Come on, Reid. Try something else.
I gotta remember when we have the blood again, he's not a super mobile enemy. See, like, look at that. To go and get him, I gotta stand in the sunlight. This is gonna get me killed.
True light will cleanse you.
When he's standing there and we have blood to spare, I can hit him with that and get him to take some damage that way. Man, I am really at a disadvantage when he is just standing in the...
The blood of a true defender of this land will protect.
Okay, so he just drank King Arthur's blood. Okay, now he's like charging.
But if you're so innocent, why does simple light burn you so much? Show some style. Fight like a
Man,
man.
I wish this was like a I'm thinking of a game like
Close your eyes.
that Kojima makes or something like that, like a director that has a ridiculous attention to detail, and that if I have my firearm out, I could shoot out the UV lights. That would be awesome. Can I parry this? No, that does not look parryable.
But if you're so innocent, why does simple light burn you so much?
Oh, I missed one there.
Hurts, doesn't it?
What was that? Get out of this. Oh. All right. Way better that time. That first half, if we can conserve blood, and if he's not in a good spot to press the attack, if he's on the other side of the UV lights, or if we just don't have enough stamina to close the distance and then also rip out a combo, I can just use the shadow eruption and chip damage on him like that. We have one blood serum.
Bite is useless on me. I know! It hurts, doesn't it?
So this first half, if we use the saber and keep our blood as high as we can, and then when we have to dip out, we punish him with the shadow pool, we could force him into a situation where he's got to come at us in the second half.
Close your eyes! This is gonna hurt.
Can't use all of it on that though, because we do have to keep our health up.
Come on, Reid. Try something else.
Get out, get out, get out. Alright. I overcommitted there. Didn't have the stamina to leave. This guy's interesting because he's got... It feels like he's better than us at the different phases of combat, right? Like he's got a range advantage. He's got a battlefield control advantage. He's got a melee advantage. I guess I haven't looked yet and seen what level he is. I'm sure the level advantage is probably the biggest issue. We have bullets too in this first phase. I can use my bullets to get us out of the first chunk here. See, like, what an absurd arc for him to hit me with all of those.
But if you're so innocent, why does simple light burn you so much? Your poisonous bite is useless on me.
Ugh. We are figuring it out, Julie. I think we're gonna get it. You know, if you think back to how much we struggled with the fight against Mary in the graveyard, a lot of that was just me learning her combat mechanics. The leveling difference is certainly... It's more pronounced here on the bosses now that we've gotten to endgame than it is on just the regular riffraff, right? Because at this point, in a normal playthrough, you probably would have eaten 2 or 3 people from every district already, right? Man, I really wish it started you with a full blood meter. See, I don't know. His parry timings are really weird. It doesn't help when I just don't even try and parry it, though. We don't get a ton of blood from the saber. And I'm worried that I'm, like, gonna lose just as much blood getting in against him. Stamina, I think, is weirdly the biggest issue in this fight. Because especially, like, he's got the chain... He's got the chain crossbow, which doesn't help, right? Because I'm, like, suddenly in need of dodging 3 or 4 things.
I know! It hurts, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know how that one got me. That was garbage. Yeah, so I feel like sometimes it's 2 and sometimes it's 3 when he does the long combo with the crossbow. Ow, ow, get out of here.
True light will cleanse you.
All right, so now he's King Arthur. All right, get some blood. We stop taking extra damage from the sunlight there because we get the immunity from feeding. Dodge through the big shot.
I'll pin you down.
This is a risky play that I probably should not have bothered with. He's level 33, so he's got 9 levels on us, which I feel like is not as bad as some of our other combats. All right. Ooh, didn't get much there. Why are there so many of these? Swansea. Maybe your hospital could have freaking afforded some medicine if you weren't spending all your money on light bulbs.
I know. It hurts, doesn't it? Come on,
All right.
Reid.
When I can punish this big one, if I can get out of its way, we get a couple good shots in. Yes, get a feed off.
Close your eyes.
All right, stay on the other side of the big shot. Hit him with a couple dingers. How much freaking light is in this room?
I know. It hurts, doesn't it?
It feels oddly like he's actually talking to me, because every time I complain about the lights, he uses that voice line about I know it hurts. Charge at me. Dodge, punish. Get out of the light, Jonathan. Get out.
Close your eyes.
Punish it, get the feed. Get out. Punish it. Okay. Getting a rhythm here. Punish it. Get out.
But if you're so innocent...
Don't get greedy. Still plenty more fight to be had.
True light will cleanse you.
I think we'll get him with the... Yes!
We are the guardian of justice. Priwen shall prevail.
You can't accept the fact we're not enemies, can you?
We always have been, and we always will be. Of all the evils that threaten mankind, your kind are the worst.
You hunted me down. Maybe I am a monster. We could collaborate. I've like, this guy's such a chump, right? Because like, I don't feel like we've given, like, okay, taking a step back. Obviously, this dude is operating on a preconceived notion about vampires that we do not fit the mold of, right? Like, we've gone the whole game and haven't eaten anybody. There's no way Jeffrey McCollum's gonna know that. But, like, bro, you had the deck stacked against you in my home turf. You came to my place with my people and brought the smoke against me. But, like, I don't want this to be our fate. Like, I don't want to kill you.
I'm not saying we could be friends, you and I. But perhaps we could collaborate to put an end to this epidemic.
Never! We are Priwen. We do not negotiate. We do not compromise.
There is no way you'll ever let me be, McCollum. You'll always hunt me down, won't you?
There is no escape, Leech. Kill me now. For there is no way you can sway me to your ideals.
That's where you're mistaken.
What do you mean?
Oh, snap. We can turn him into a vampire. And then he has no choice but to kind of see the other side of it. You know, I would love, so it's interesting here, they don't give us the choice of just killing him outright. Like, they've kind of, for the player, they've said like, hey, we're taking that choice out of your hands, because I don't know if it's like a narrative choice or what, but it's interesting that we only get the 2 here instead of 3 like we've had with so many other people. So we can spend 1,000 experience and turn him into a vampire. What does that do, right? So like, it forces him to confront the truth of vampires, the fact that being immortal doesn't automatically make you a monster. But like, I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty monstrous choice in and of itself. Like McCullum, I don't think McCullum's wrong. He's just ignorant. Like unlike the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, which like they're trying to learn what they can from the immortals and try and kind of use that as a betterment of mankind, or at least to broaden mankind's understandings. Pre-Win is just like, you're different, you're evil, you're bad. And like, I'm thinking of the other econ that we've met in the game thus far. Like certainly Jonathan is in the minority as far as like vampires that don't have selfish or downright destructive ideals. But like, I don't know, like as much as I can kind of understand McCullum's stance, I don't think turning him against his will is really the right answer. What's Chat got here? He might not take being turned well. He may take it into his own hands. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Julie, is like turning him kind of serves my agenda, but I don't know, like if he isn't able to see both sides of the coin already, I don't know that me forcing him to be a vampire is really going to change that. Like if anything, he's so clouded against it now, I don't know that it would actually convert and then change his mind once he's turned. Won't he just kill himself because he's, yeah. I think you guys are on the kind of same thought line that I am. I think turning him makes for like an interesting moral dilemma, right? Like you are what you hate now, and so now you have to come to terms with it. But we don't know enough about these characters to know how he'll digest that. I think maybe equally as powerful, the other option, which we've not really talked too much about, is sparing him. Yeah, I don't think you're that kind of man, Misha says. Yeah, I agree, right? Like maybe the better move here is just to do, I'll spare you, take the high road, right? And then Reid is like, look at you, you brought the best you had and flat out told me that I would have to kill you to stop you from coming after me, and I still didn't choose to do it because I'm that much better than you are. Plus then we keep 1,000 experience. Not for nothing. We've had 2, maybe 3 dialogues with McCullum. I don't know that I really care enough to turn him. Like at least when we were giving our blood to the sad saint of the East End, like he's a character that we had a little bit of a dialogue with and kind of understood his wealth or his value in the community. I think we're gonna spare him. That was an interesting conundrum.
I'll spare you, McCullum. I'll offer you the mercy you never offered me.
What is this ruse?
This is no ruse, McCullum. This is me letting you go. After all, you and I are both trying to save this poor country in our own way.
I'll kill you, Reid. Next time we meet, I'll end you.
See? Progress already. You called me by my name. Until the next time. Goodbye, Hunter.
First of all, sweet zinger. I'm actually really happy with that end to their fight. But not gonna ask any questions about Edgar. Not gonna talk to him about Swansea. We saw Blood Trail go upstairs. We fought McCullum. And then no more questions about Edgar? That's questionable. Nicely done. That was a great. Yeah, I agree. I think you guys are right. I think like the other ending probably would have been pretty depressing. And is probably not the kind of decision that Jonathan would make, right? Especially the way we've been playing Jonathan. I can't imagine him forcing vampirism on someone. Like even just now when we were over in Aloysius's Science Without Conscience reached Doris Fletcher's theater. Why are we going back to Doris's theater? Interesting. Even when we were talking to Aloysius and he had read up and prepared and was like welcoming an opportunity to convert, Reid wouldn't do it without kind of going through it, right? Like, I guess that's the physician's instincts in him more than anything else. Like, hey, this is a procedure that I need to know you're entering into willingly. I can't imagine, especially considering how frequently he has referred to this affliction as a disease, as an ailment, that he would just willingly inflict that on someone else. Okay, we got level 32 just standard baddies in the street now, so that's cool, I guess. We have no blood. We're dead. I also really like the zinger. I agree. I like it was for a game that's been really heavy and morose dialogue almost as a rule. Getting a little dig in, pretty entertaining. That boss took me way less time than I thought it was gonna. Little disappointing to still be having so much trouble with the standard riffraff because of the level gap. They really make it very, very hard on you. I'm wondering now, like, my impression of the game and of the fact that there's like a bonus in the ending if you don't eat anybody. I'm wondering if this is like ultimate hard mode, right? Like, obviously it's been established that doing it without the extra bonus XP is difficult. But I'm wondering if this is like one of those situations where like it's a crazy hard trophy that people have to chase down before they can finish platinuming a game. Because man, it certainly feels like it right now. When I'm out in the street and have such a dramatic level gap, when I'm stuck on wagons. Like, are all you guys level 32 now? Everyone in the city? Oh, we lost all our blood because of that guy's... Oh no. One of these guys is a named Ascalon dude. Where? I'm just running from my life. I'm getting completely lost. Okay. We can take on one of you. Yep. Put your stupid guard down. Oh, you just bided time until your friend could come back over, you jerk. You know what you get for that. Ooh, you're playing in hard mode. I think I am playing in hard mode, and you know what? It's interesting. I didn't think I was playing in hard mode until we really started to see the effects of what it did on the level gap. You know, they even give you... When we started the game, there was a difficulty selection. And if I had known that the combat would get this lopsided, I definitely would have done it on story mode. Because I have the feeling that on story mode, if you're doing kind of the benevolent Dr. Vampire run, even on story mode, it's probably a little difficult. Or at least for me. One of my big weaknesses, well, I don't know, weaknesses maybe not necessarily the right thing to say. One of the things that keeps me with such a heavy backlog and with so many things that I mean to play and then never finish, is because truthfully, I'm just not super good at games. Like, my reflex and reaction times aren't what they need for certain types of games. So I do actually often play on like an easy or a story mode. That's something that just in the last couple of years, I finally made the decision to be like, you know what? I'm not trying to win competitive esports tournaments. I just want to see stories and see like the narrative arcs of these cool characters and these cool worlds. So I should have trusted my gut, I think, maybe on Vampyr. I blame Afterlife for that. Afterlife was real insistent that we didn't play it on story mode. Maybe we can get an extra hard prize. You're right. As for all things considered, I don't think we've struggled that much. So it's not like it's the end of the world. Why are we back at Doris's theater? So McCullum said he found evidence at the theater, and he accused
So Priwen never
us.
left Doris's theater after they invaded. They must be holding Edgar here in their new headquarters.
Oh, this is turned into a new dungeon. I'd like to see your ticket, sir. This guy came a running. Did you see that? He's the best shot in all of London. I hit him with a double zip zoop, and he still had me on a bead. All right. Let's play a game of Where is Edgar? Is he down? Okay. Wait a minute. That's not Edgar. Why is it? I'm so confused. That doesn't look like Edgar, but it's showing his name. Oh. Our favorite rats in all of London.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
All right. Just out on the stage again. Oh, he's even further down. There's like a sub-basement. Well, how the hell do we get there? We want to take care of this dude first because he's going to zap all our blood. Ow. Use our ulti while we can. Some of these just standard mob fights are approaching the difficulty of boss encounters. Like, you know, I think on a couple occasions now I've drawn parallels between this game's combat and like a Souls game. And I really, you know, that would certainly not be true on a lower difficulty. That's really, more than anything, that's a kind of a symptom of the fact that I have given myself this unbelievable level disadvantage. But in the context of how we've played it, when we get like this encounter here with the dude sapping our blood and then also having the ads for extra damage, like that's a pretty hard combo. All right, gather up some loots. It's not this door, that one's locked. There's an open door on the other side where we originally fought Doris here. But I would like to see what other goodies we can find first. McCullum's report. 11. The Priwen logo is kind of fun, by the way. 11/06/18. I just finished reading Doris Fletcher's journal, as painful and dreadful as it was. My God, the woman planned to see everyone in London afflicted by infecting all who would come to her next play. It helped me understand greatly what is going on. Doris Fletcher's real name was Doris Jones. She was the daughter of some Harriet Jones who had been treated as a patient for a long time at the Pembroke Hospital. She clearly hated her mother, but used her fame and notoriety to see her while visiting the poor and sick in the East End. So Harriet's the old bag that is now a skull. I don't know exactly what happened then, but this is how her mother infected her before returning to the theater, and how she turned into that monstrosity that the leech known as Jonathan Reid finally defeated. The presence of that vampire in the same hospital where Harriet Jones was treated can't be a coincidence. I am convinced he is deeply involved with the vampire plague going on in London right now. I am also convinced Swansea is his accomplice, and that those two are planning something more terrifying than anything the Guard has ever faced. Maybe I should take some time to read the old books and manuscripts the Guard still possesses to get some answers. It may prove useful. In the meantime, I better send some patrols to investigate about what is occurring at the Pembroke Hospital. 11/08/18. It took me 2 days to parse through the dusty registers and books we keep in the vault. God, I hate losing time like this. The search did prove fruitful for once. I found 2 pages that could be related to our present situation in a copy of William Marshall's memoirs. I took them with me to read more carefully. This creature Marshall says he fought in 1666, this disaster that aimed to destroy London, it is very similar to what happened with Doris Fletcher. Disease, infection, hate of the living, a desire to see the city ransacked. I have no doubt now that the bloody old leech of William Marshall is behind all this, and that he is back. This could be our greatest accomplishment if the Guard could at last find and destroy that old bastard. I believe what William Marshall did in 1666 is exactly what Reid is now trying to do. Did the creature, this disaster, escape their will? Is it why Marshall destroyed him in 1666 and Reid did the same with Doris Fletcher before she became such a creature? I don't know. But those two are clearly working together and Swansea is helping them. I will immediately give orders to have him arrested and interrogated. As for Reid, I'll destroy that evil beast myself and then we'll deal with William Marshall and this disaster thing. Prewin will prevail
Doris
once
Fletcher
more.
was about to become a disaster. I'm getting close to having all the evidence.
So the theater stage key was included with McCullum's book. Oh, we didn't even need to go up and around. I fought those guys and then did like a loop. I didn't realize that this door had just been opened. So I'm assuming this key is for this other door here on the stage. Yeah. And then this goes further down, and then Edgar will be down here. Yo, Edgar. Edgar, my dude. I'll be with you in a second. I'm just looking around. Oh, hi. I was, where's the concessions? I think that's the steadiest I have ever taken one of those guys out. Man, these mattresses are filthy looking. They're just rounding these up from some of the infected homes and then using them to camp. Like, come on, guys. What do we got in here? Ooh, another letter. The Vampire Knight. William Marshall. Forget the legend about the man, the one most of you never heard of. You lazy bastards. Forget the empty tomb in Temple Church. Forget the death of those among us who died trying to locate him. We, the Guard, know that he is still hiding somewhere. That's the only fact we must keep in mind. Another small detail we need to keep in mind. This little fucker is clever. How many times have we thought we had him cornered to finally only find old dust and cobwebs? Marshall has been a vampire for 1,000 years. We're no match until we can change our plans concerning his hunt. So, here are a few questions for you, lazy bastards, and I want all of them answered before speaking of another great hunt to pin that leech down. Who helped him escape his den under the Temple Church? We know now for a fact that a private contractor was paid to move a large coffin from the church a few years before we investigated the tomb. What exactly did the traders of the Brotherhood of St. Paul discuss with Marshall when they met in 1785 in London? The report of this meeting has been burnt, but witnesses remain of a request made by Marshall to access a specific book in their library. Why does the monstrosity known as Lady Blackwood seem linked to Marshall? They exchanged letters. She went in London to meet him in 1786, according to the Brotherhood spies. She tried to discreetly buy his castle in Wales in 1793 before fleeing when spotted by our fearless mentor, Kendall Stone. See the pattern here? What happened during these few years? Why such agitation and activity? Answer these questions, my brothers, and you will find the path to our most eminent foe, William Marshall, oldest vampire of England to survive our righteous wrath. From Know Your Enemies by Carl Eldritch, Prewin leader.
It's locked.
What am I supposed to do with all these locked safes? Evidence safe. Until further notice, this safe will be used to store sensitive evidences. It must always be locked. If you need access to it, just find me on the last floor to get the key, and bloody remember to bring it back to me when you're done, Rodney.
Box.
Ooh, William Marshall's memoirs. We're getting all kinds of info dumps now. The Brotherhood of St. Paul Stole finally agreed to meet me in London. They proposed to meet me inside the new Cathedral of St. Paul. I like the wit and solemnity of these men. What a symbol to choose the place where I defeated this disaster, but also the place where I fell. I agreed to their proposition. There, in the sacred silence of the church and under the eye of God, they respectfully listened to me. They acknowledged my victory against this evil creature, the Dosastro, the eater of stars, who only wished to spread death and pestilence all around her. Since they acknowledged my will to save London in 1666, they heard my request, my burning desire to stop the blood of hate. Their primate promised to come back to me with an answer. The primate of St. Paul wrote back to me with just a name, the Tear of Angels. According to him, this ancient artifact could heal anything, cleanse any blackened soul, and purify my blood. Blessed be the Lord. It took me more than 100 years to find a cure for the blood of hate, but I may finally have found it. Soon, the rage shall end. Soon, I may repair the wrong I did and cleanse my failures. Now, all I need to do is retrieve the necessary ingredients to create the artifact. Blood of the purest heart mixed with the blood of a king. To find such rare ingredients is not what worries me the most, for time is on my side. It's the last part that worries me. Pure essence of garlic. I'm afraid it will literally hurt like hell when I drink the antidote. But if that's the price to pay to cleanse my soul and correct my mistakes, I am ready to endure this excruciating pain.
Blood of a pure heart, garlic, blood of a king. I don't understand. Perhaps this is what McCullum drank. I had better keep that in mind. Edgar. Edgar, can you hear me?
Jonathan, is it really you?
Easy. Easy. Save your strength.
They gave him the once over, that's for sure. Have a seat, buddy. Come on. Deep breaths.
Don't try to spare me. As a physician, I know all too well when it's too late. Punctured lung, broken ribs, and internal bleeding. An accurate diagnosis, wouldn't you say?
Edgar, what happened?
They wanted me to confess. Beat me black and blue.
Geoffrey McCullum ambushed me at the Pembroke Hospital. He was convinced you and I were responsible for the Skal epidemic.
I never imagined that self-righteous fanatic would dare to attack us in the open. What became of him?
To prove him wrong, I let him go.
Really? You sure that was the wisest course of action?
Time will tell. The most intriguing part of his accusation was that you and I were the pawns of some ancient vampire.
William Marshall. Yes, they tortured me to make me confess the same nonsense.
Do we think he's hiding something?
I think you're hiding something, Edgar.
He has seemed awfully plugged in about
William Marshall, for example.
Like vamps and stuff.
You speak of him as if you know him. How is that?
Jonathan, I cannot say I'm ready for another round of questions.
Why would the Guard of Priwen believe you and I created the vampire epidemic?
Maybe due to our profession? Because I offered you shelter in my hospital.
What can you tell me about William Marshall?
Not much. History paints the story he was the greatest knight who ever lived. Amongst the immortals, he had a yet greater legend.
Why is the Guard of Priwen so obsessed with him?
He was the only ancient vampire to escape the first great hunt launched by the Guard of Priwen in 1854. They believe he's an evil creature plotting his return.
Why would he deserve such a reputation?
I cannot say. The Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole has next to no intelligence on him. All I know is that he's supposed to be the oldest of all the British vampires.
While investigating the epidemic, I read some of McCullum's findings. I think you have some explaining to do.
I have nothing to hide, Jonathan. Nothing at all.
Do you know Doris Fletcher's real name?
No, I'm afraid not.
Her real name was Doris Jones. She was the daughter of Harriet Jones.
What do you want me to say, Jonathan?
Do you remember when we suspected Sean Hampton of killing Harriet Jones?
Yes. The terrible episode that came as a shock to us all.
Harriet Jones faked her own death. When I found her in the sewers, she confessed she wanted everybody to pay for what happened to her.
That woman was extremely bitter, full of hatred and festering anger.
Doris Fletcher visited her mother at the Pembroke Hospital. That's how she first got infected.
I know nothing about that. Miss Fletcher once came to visit the sick. That is all I know.
No, Edgar, there is more. Doris Fletcher was Harriet Jones's daughter. They exhibited the same symptoms: blind hate and strong physical mutation.
What does this sad story have to do with us?
Do you know where we are? Doris Fletcher's theatre. This is where that hateful creature plotted to spread the epidemic across London.
I only briefly met Miss Fletcher once when she visited the Pembroke Hospital. You say it was to see her mother. She seemed like such a sweet and graceful woman.
My point exactly. The disease turned her into a bitter soul, driven by vengeance just like her mother. A symptom of all the infected patients.
Certain diseases are known to produce similar effects. Rabies, for example. And rabies is not the devil at work.
Yo, rabies is the devil at work. Rabies is terrifying.
Come on, Edgar. Don't you see the pattern here? The epidemic, the link between Doris and Harriet, the suspicion of McCullum.
How could I? I never saw Harriet Jones again after she fled the hospital.
Doris and Harriet shared more than a hidden family bond. They were the embodiment of the epidemic and are linked to the Pembroke Hospital. Come on, Edgar, this is no coincidence.
I swear I'm at a complete loss. All I did was administer vampire blood to cure old Harriet. There was no evil plan, no diabolical plot.
You did what?
I tested the regenerating and healing properties of vampire blood on Harriet Jones. My only intention was to find the cure for influenza, I swear.
Whose blood did you use? William Marshall's? Mine?
Lady Ashbury's. While transfusing her with human blood, humanely appeasing her hunger, I also kept samples of her blood for my research.
You used her blood on Harriet Jones? My God, Edgar, that's unethical. You betrayed 2 of your patients at the same time.
Whoa.
I made a mistake. But what is science if not trial and error? We both know it, Jonathan, we both know it.
What a poor justification for your morbid fascination and thirst for glory.
You have worked beside me. You saw what I'm doing at Pembroke Hospital. Jonathan, you know I'm not an evil soul. Just another victim of this tragedy.
Whoa. Okay. So 2 of our options, Edgar dies. Or we can turn him into a vampire. Man, that was a lot to unpack. So So Harriet Jones is not patient zero for the Spanish flu, obviously. They're not trying to insinuate that Vampyr is the source of the Spanish flu. But what they're saying is this new weird hybrid of the skull epidemic, what we're seeing where there's this like viral vampiric outbreak in London. Harriet Jones is patient zero because Swansea tried to cure her using vampire blood. I think that's what I got from that. So, in essence, we know that Edgar is responsible for a ton of the shit that we've been running around cleaning up for the entirety of the, second and third act of this game. He's dying. The Guard of Priwen has beat the snot out of him. He's not going to survive his wounds. So we can embrace him, which will invalidate our no embracing run. We can let him die. I mean, we say you deserve it is the dialogue option for letting him die. Certainly what he did is wrong, right? What he did was not something that one man should have made the decision to do. But he did do it with good intentions. I don't think he did it thinking it would hurt Harriet Jones, right? Like, obviously he's of the belief, we've seen time and again that he's got this like fanboy style reverence for vampires and immortals. So I can't imagine he did it thinking it was going to harm her. Like, Edgar still comes across as a doctor. It's just in this instance a very unethical doctor. This is tough. I don't really want to let him die. So let me turn it on its head for a second. Let me think about this the same way we were thinking about Aloysius earlier in the episode, right? Like, he does not strike me as the kind of guy that would use immortality for the benefit of those around him. Aloysius doesn't, but Edgar does. Like, I don't think Edgar as a vampire is a terrible scenario. But like, does he just doesn't pay for any of his crimes? He doesn't pay for this terrible decision? That doesn't rub me the right way either. But I don't know that I'm willing to be a one-person death sentence. Man, that's tough. What happens to Pembroke without Edgar too? So that would mean another pillar dies. So we would have two pillars in the city dead. Because Aloysius is dead, so the West End pillar's dead. And if Edgar dies, that's the pillar for Pembroke. Man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. This one is even more difficult. I agree, Julie. I think this one's tough because, like, Aloysius, they had kind of painted this picture of him being a scumbag from jump. Every dialogue we had with him was pretty rough around the edges. Every person we talked to about him had terrible things to say. But Edgar, other than the fact that he's been kind of an annoying Boy Scout about us being a vampire, like, Edgar's been a bro. Edgar saved us in the tutorial. Edgar gave us our first kind of legit hideout. And a cover story that would allow for us to be nocturnal. Edgar's really been a pretty solid wingman. Yeah, look, so we're going to turn him, but I'll walk through it before we click this in case the dialogue invalidates everything that I'm thinking right now. I don't think Edgar was trying to do harm, right? Like, the Hippocratic Oath is do no harm. Sure, there's some other things in that oath that he has also not upheld here presently, but I don't think he was trying to hurt her. I genuinely think that he knows enough about vampires to feel confident in his experiment without knowing enough to actually be smart about it. So I don't think it was a malicious action. I don't think that I'm prepared to be the one to sentence him to death. And at the end of the day, like, Edgar's been a bro to us. So if there was a chance earlier in the night, well, I guess it would have been last night technically, to turn a man that we don't know, that we hate, like, I think turning Edgar is fine. Give him the suck. He wasn't trying to hurt her. He was trying to help with what he knew. Yeah, exactly, Julie, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know that you can do clinical trials with vampire blood, right? Like, I don't know how he could have tested his hypothesis elseways. So I don't think he was trying to F it up. I'm going to turn him. Edgar's going to turn into a vampire.
No, Edgar, you are not going to die. Unless you want to.
What do you mean?
I can save you, Edgar. I can turn your broken body into one like mine.
You truly would? After all I've done, after all that's been said, you would offer me this gift?
I have no way of knowing which punishment would be worse, Edgar. But it is not for me to decide. So?
Oh, please, Jonathan, please. I beg you. This is what I've always wanted. This is what I've always searched for.
Very
well. Already not feeling as great about it. A little too eager for it.
Prepare to die and be reborn. To face an eternity of guilt.
I'm ready. Oh, indeed, I am ready.
It's interesting, right? Like, so the
Enough.
two... Whoa, what a visage. New hint available. Oh, and it was telling us about... Oh, hint failed as well. No, I want the hints. Would you stop? Yes, okay. Go talk to Lady Ashbury. I gotcha. Hint lost. Edgar used Lady Ashbury's blood to conduct illicit experiments on Harriet Jones. Edgar, you son of a bitch. This is all information you probably should have brought to my attention previous during our partnership here. Old love letter. London, 12th May 1912. My most exquisite friend, everything is now ready for our journey to France. We'll leave from Dover on the 17th, and we will spend the whole summer in Paris. I can't wait to taste all the delicate flavors the wonderful city has to offer, and I can't wait to try them all with you. Music, food, theater, architecture, perfumes, fashion. Oh, and you. Oh, what a delight it will be. I already wrote to some of my good artist friends who will be as delighted as me to see you on stage in French theater. Edmund Ralston should be there. I know you like his work very much, and I count on him to introduce us to the magnificent Sarah Bernhard. That would be the greatest achievement of this journey. I can't wait to hold you again in my arms, my sweetest delight, and drink again the source of your divine talent. Yours devoted, Calhoun. So that is... that's the letter that would have given us the clue that Calhoun and Doris were lovers. So the 150 gold we spent with Usher earlier invalidated seemingly at our next convenience. Man, so that was an intense turn of events. So apparently all this stuff we've been trying to fight and figure out is because of our old buddy Edgar being an overeager vampire lover. But it would appear that we do have the pieces we need. Uh-oh. Prewa's out here yelling again. We can go out the front door here. The journal from William Marshall seems to have given us an indication as to something that can help. So let's go talk to Ashbury. I'm sure she's going to be pissed that she trusted Edgar and then Edgar screwed her and took her blood. And then I think after Lady Ashbury in this conversation, I think we'll probably call it, even if it's still a little bit before midnight. I don't know how much of this is left. This seems to have built to a pretty steady finale here. So Lady
Hannah
Ashbury's
Jones
house is right
became
over
the original
here.
carrier when Edgar gave her vampire blood. I must tell Elizabeth.
Steady, boys, we've got one of them.
She's not gonna be happy. Wait, she's on the other side. Pardon me, gentlemen. Pardon me. Excuse me. Just let me in the house. Let me into the house. Elizabeth, I'm getting shot in your front yard.
Hold back.
Elizabeth, I hesitate to think that this has got to be louder than your door knocker. So maybe let me in, yeah?
Filthy murdering bastard.
He's got his parry up. Come on. Why did it? Oh man, that was the worst target switch we've had in ages. That was like the other side of the combat. Oh, it did it again. It's gotta be because I'm fighting in this little alcove. I don't think the camera likes it. All right. Enough of that nonsense. We gotta go talk to my lady love about how her blood has been turning the whole city to ash. It is crazy how long the load times have gotten when they were so snappy in the beginning. Where's Elizabeth? She's upstairs. Elizabeth, my dear, you may want to sit down. Oh, she's painting our painting.
What good fortune brings you back to me, Jonathan? What is it, my dear?
I'm afraid it's bad news, Elizabeth. The worst, actually.
Who paints right out of a paint can like that?
Speak up.
Edgar is no longer in McCullum's grasp. I resolved that matter.
Where is our good friend now? Is he well?
Of a sort. His injuries were mortal. I had no choice but to make him one of us. To save him. Or to punish him.
To punish him? I fail to understand. And what is the source of this cold tone in your voice?
Edgar Swansea was responsible for the Skal epidemic, Elizabeth. It was he who unleashed the deadly scourge upon London.
What? Are you certain? This is the most terrible accusation of all.
He confessed everything to me. He sought to cure the disease, to exploit vampire blood to stop the epidemic. But he unwittingly gave birth to a catastrophe.
All those poor victims. How could he do it? What happened?
Ooh. He was a criminal, I feel like, is too harsh. He was stupid is probably the most apt. But I think, honestly, it's just he gave no heed to ethics, right? Like, it's interesting because this kind of condemnation of Edgar's actions is very similar to the side quest in Pembroke, the investigation about the guy who wants to further his theories to treat the guy with the hurt arm. Which I wonder now if that was included intentionally because of how it would reflect later on Edgar.
Edgar gave no heed to ethics. His theory could have been proven to be correct, but he abused the confidence of his patients to test it.
I must say, I'm shocked, Jonathan. Who would have thought it? And the poor patient. Let me guess. It was Harriet Jones, was it not?
Yes. That explains how Doris Fletcher was infected, and how she became an Icor. She secretly visited her mother at Pembroke.
Then we have no choice. We must act quickly, Jonathan. We must return to the sewers and put an end to the threat poor Harriet embodies.
I have one more matter to discuss with you. Harriet Jones was the primary case, but do you know what a healthy carrier is?
There is a tone in your voice that frightens me, Jonathan. What are you trying to say?
It was your blood Edgar used for his experiment on Harriet Jones.
What? No. No. This can't be. Oh, God.
Oh no.
Elizabeth, are you all right?
No, I have to go.
What do you mean?
Leave me alone. Save the city, Jonathan.
She
Save
did
what
not
can be
take
saved.
that
Elizabeth,
well.
I need answers. Why did your blood
Stay
cause
away
this?
from me. Please. I swear I never was your
Wait,
enemy.
no! Elizabeth!
Whoa. What was she working on that she just had 3 red splotches? Gather the ingredients for the antidote. Obtain a drop of William Marshall's blood from Lord Redgrave. Obtain a drop of King Arthur's blood from Geoffrey McCullum. Search for insulin in the old morgue of the Pembroke Hospital.